We are here. Hello, everyone. Come on in, and I am going to get myself together for you. Hello, hello, hello. I almost feel like I should put on some music or something, but I don't want the background. All right, and let me pull up. Oh, I was going to share my screen. Hello, Garrett. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to see the screen share, you are more than welcome to follow along on Facebook, Twitter. Oh, sorry. I always have to remember to put all my devices on Do Not Disturb. All right, let's go here. Mm. Okay, okay, perfect. Oh, I was going to. All right, so looks like we've got some people on. Okay. Um, all right, sorry everyone. Let me go ahead and start by introducing myself. Hi, I am Maggie, your substitute teacher. For anybody new here, usually I'm welcoming you to my struggle cooking class. And today we're going to do another, what I like to call, we'll call them dining documentaries, right? And I have a playlist for them on my page. But I am not a professional chef and I am not a professional YouTuber. I'm just a mom, a boy mom, times two teenage sons who are spending more and more time with dad. So I've got more free time to focus on some of the things that I want to do. I've been on a health and wellness journey and sharing my love of food with you all on my journey. And this has also turned into some that are important to me. I've shared with you all that I've been taking several etiquette and elegance classes for some goals that I have. And you all seem to have an interest in them. So we're going to do a reaction video today um, to a beautiful actress dining and see if we can pick out a few things that we can do better. If this is important to you, feel free to sit back and relax. We'll take some time, an hour or so to go through this. It's a YouTube video I'm going to be reacting to in clips. If you'd like to be counted present, feel free to announce yourself. If you would like to watch from the clouds, you're more than welcome to Ninja Watch here. We are the happy, wholesome, family-friendly side of YouTube. All right, so I did get a message here, school stuff. Okay, let's see. Do, 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 do. Sorry about that, you all. Mom stuff never ends. Okay, so let me pull up who are we talking about today, and I'm going to share my screen talking about a lovely actress by the name of Zendaya. Now, you all know I'm old, I'm 47, so I know very little about pop culture, and I kind of like it that way. However, as a boy, dragged to a few Marvel movies. So I only know her as the love interest in one of the Spider-Man movies. But let's see who we're talking about here. I'm going to share my screen and we'll pull up just a little Google search on Zendaya so you all know. All right, so let's see what is the information that we can share. All right, so Zendaya, you may know her from different movies or other things. If you are familiar with her, feel free to share with me because, like I said, I don't know. But she's an actress. beautiful. She is old. Good to know. She's an actress and a singer. I didn't know that. I'll have to check out some of her music. I believe she's biracial, not that that matters at all, but you probably know her from, she's one of those that started with, has transitioned into some other roles, fashionista, so on and so forth, and several awards. So you can see her film career here, and TV career here, and music career here. All right. Who we have here? We have Luke Casey in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Let me shout out Luke Casey, a huge part of the Lead Attorney community. Also has a YouTube channel, and I am thrilled that our collab has been rescheduled for this coming Thursday, which is January 12th. Depending on when you're watching this, it will be 5:30 Pacific time. If you're on the West Coast, it will be 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast. So we're going to chat. We're going to talk all things personal development, etiquette, manners, how we got here, mistakes we've made. I don't know. She's going to interview me. So please look for that. It's going to be on Luke Hazley's channel. So thank you so much for being here, Miss Lucy. All right. So that is who we are talking about today. And let me just give another disclaimer. I never want to come across like I have all the answers. You all can see in the title here, I am an etiquette student. I have been on my own personal development journey. I have completed a few signature programs from Anna Bay, from Emma DuPont. I bought resources from Women of Elegance, trying to get a collab with her, and so many other free resources that are available that I've shared with you all. And what I have said is that as a boy mom, two teenagers who don't always get along, as a boy mom, I also work in technology. I work for a software company, which is a data-driven, masculine, competitive environment. I have decided that I want to enhance my softness and make sure that my femininity, stays a priority for me. So again, this is a personal goal and a journey that I've taken. I know it's not for everybody, and I'm not here to say that it is, but you all have expressed some interest as I go along the journey that I share it with you. The other thing is, on my health and wellness journey, I've shared with you all, not only did I used to be pre-diabetic, elevated cholesterol, and borderline blood pressure, all of which is normal now because I've changed the way that I eat and snack. I've also lost 80 pounds, and I have at least 20 more to go. And I'm sharing that food journey with you all. But one of the things that I've noticed is that at my larger size, it was harder for me to be as delicate and elegant as I wanted to be. And so as I've gotten smaller, I'm able to practice some of the things that have always been an interest for me. Although I'm a boy mom, I'm a girly girl. I played with dolls. I played in my mom's makeup, but I don't have daughters and I don't have sisters. So this has just been like a little private space for me, but I'm sharing it with you all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. But again, no expert here. I'm learning. I still make mistakes, but I want to get better. For example, I'm going to be drinking out of a glass now instead of throwing the can back. So this is our Walmart water. You all know I'm always drinking this sparkling water, sugar-free and calorie-free, but I am going to be drinking out of a glass. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. This is a video that Zendaya did. It's an interview with Vogue magazine. And so she is eating and answering questions at the same time, which honestly, for me, is very difficult. And I've shared with you all that, when I have my cooking channel, I love to taste the food because I am actually showing y'all what I'm cooking for myself or for the family. But I always struggle like eating on camera when, people are watching you. And then I get very excited. You all have seen. Okay, so let me pull up this video and we are going to go through. Let me make sure that the sound is off. Okay, good. Sound is off. Don't want any copyright issues. And again, happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so this is the lovely and beautiful Zendaya. So I am going to, before I even play the video, I am going to ask, and we are going to go through this together. Is anything standing out to you all about this first shot? So you can see she is a beautiful young lady. She is in a very beautiful, let's see if I can do a side by side. Okay, she's in a very beautiful, I believe this is a gown. I don't see the full length, but it looks like it's some type of dress. And it looks like it has the type of like, I don't know, 1920s vibe, 1940s vibe. What does Luke Hazley say? Luke Hazley says, I remember watching this episode. I love her because she seems so genuine in a world where fantasy is prioritized. Yes. And again, I only know Zendaya from one Spider Man movie. And I think I have seen one other video of hers. Excuse me. And I agree. The little that I know, she seems very likable. She's an excellent actress from the one movie that I've seen. One moment, let me just wipe my nose. All right. Thank you. But yes, so I just saw this for the first time yesterday. So I'm going to tell you all what jumps out to me. And again, I'm sharing with you all what I have learned on my own journey. And I'm going to try and also share with you all some of the why. I know when we've had different people on, for example, Wilbert asked, where do these rules come from? Ding, 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 ding. I don't have a soundboard, but I'll drink to that. Cheers. Lucasely, you got it. All right. So this is the first shot from the video. And like Luke Hazley says, I noticed the elbows on the table. And for a couple of reasons, this stands out. This is a lovely young lady. And at what, 26? How old is she? This could be, a daughter or a girlfriend. I'm looking at her as like, if one of my boys brought a beautiful young lady home and we had her over for dinner. So Luke Hazley says, I noticed the elbows on the table. So what I have learned, proper etiquette says that you don't want to have anything on the table that is not food related. And when you put your elbows up on the table, they shouldn't be where food is being served. I would love to hear from you all what else you notice and maybe what other etiquette rules because I'm still learning. The only time I have learned, the only time that it's acceptable to put elbows on the table after the meal is complete and the wait staff has cleared the table. And let's say you're just having a conversation. At that time, it would be okay to kind of lean into your dining partner and have a conversation. But during the time that a meal is served, you don't want to have elbows on the table. Here's another thing that I have noticed about elbows, and I'll share with you all a little bonus. Okay, so you'll notice that usually when I sit and talk, I keep my hands together like this under the table. I am someone that gestures with my hands, but I've said that I've had to work really hard. Hello, Marie. Marie, thank you so much for being here, my dear. Trucker, she's driving in her truck. Please be safe out on the road, and thank you for the flowers. I have had to work really hard on my gestures, making sure that they are elegant and feminine. Part of my journey, I've shared with you all my speaking style, lowering my volume, slowing down, and we can talk a little bit about why that is. But here's one thing that I've learned. So when I keep my arms together at my side, for me, it kind of helps to frame my body and it makes me look a little bit smaller, which is what I want. When you put your arms out like this, if you notice how, and I'm going to drop Zendaya down just for a second, and y'all, this is what I've learned for me. I'm sitting in a chair that has arms. It's like an office chair. When I put my arms out like this, not only is it more of a masculine stance, when a man is commanding the room or doing a town hall or anything like that, it also makes you wider. which is what I don't want. And a lot of the work that I've done in my etiquette and elegance classes requires that I record myself and watch myself back. So you'll see me from time to time kind of bring my elbows into my body. It helps my posture. It helps me appear, slimmer. You all know that's a problem area for me. But then also holding my hands in place makes me more mindful if I am going to make a gesture so it's not all over the place and it's more controlled. That's something that I've had to work on. Maybe not an issue for you, but when I see arms on the table or arms out like this, keep that in mind. That's what I've learned. And then also, when you sit in a chair, this is not part of the dining, but I'm just sharing with you all what I've learned. When you sit in the chair, you're not supposed to use the armrests in a more elegant way. You're actually supposed to use your own body weight to stand up and to sit down gently. Got to work on that. But when you kind of sit back and relax, you slump down. Your posture isn't as great, and it makes you look kind of like that chicken wing thing. So just offering that. That's one of the things that I've learned in the deportment section. Oh, what does Victoria say? I'm normally up from my nap at this time. I know Victoria's out on the West Coast, so it's still early. All right, who else do we have here? What does Mona say? Yes, so true. Thank you so much for being here. Mona is also part of the Lead Attorney Mastermind, has two channels. She has a channel for herself and a channel for the kids. So please shout out your channel. Luke Hazley, please drop your channel. You can drop the link to our collab. Victoria is here. She also has a channel, a finance trading channel. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so let us continue. So we talked about elbows on the table, elbows making wider. Now look at Zendaya. She is a beautiful and slender woman, so she doesn't have that concern. But for someone like me that I struggle with weight and I'm trying to get to a smaller size, I like to keep my arms in so that I don't look wider. And you can see when I have my elbows out, my posture kind of slumps down. Ah, yes, you all are just talking in the chat. Absolutely. Come on in, make yourselves comfortable, say hello to each other. I'm going to be here every day. If you're new here, I live stream every day. I've got a lot of exciting things planned for you all. Make yourself comfortable. It is totally fine. You can multitask here. You can listen without watching. You can watch without listening. Live with a replay. You are most welcome. Chandra's still at work. I understand. Who is here? Who do we have? Condemnia. He says, I've been thinking about taking gentleman etiquette classes. Um, yes, charm school. I've thought about it for the boys. You all know I have two teens, and believe me. Whew. But yes, Luke Hazley mentioned Jamila. I don't want to mispronounce her last name. I will find her channel and drop the link in the chat. She actually has a Patreon, and Lucasely, I joined her Patreon, and I'm learning a lot in there as well. And she also has some tips for the men. So I'll share that if you would like, Condemnia. But yes, absolutely. Mona says, say no to the chicken wing. I love it. Ah, yes. All right, you all. So let us continue, and we're going to press play, and I'm going to stop when I notice something, and I would love for this to be interactive. So you all let me know what you notice. All right. So let me take myself and bring Zendaya up, and let us continue. So there's not going to be any sound. We're just going to watch her dining etiquette. So while we're waiting, okay, I'm going to pause right. Did anybody notice anything with that? It was kind of fast, but what she's doing in this episode, I just want to share with you all, even though I've muted the sound. Vogue has asked her to eat food and answer questions, okay? But it happened pretty quickly. Who do we have here? Ebony's in the house. Hello, my dear. Thank you so much for being here. Did anybody notice anything in that little section? And I will give you a hint. It has to do with the napkin. So Mona is looking. So Mona didn't see it. That's fine. No problem. And you all, I'm Some of it I knew, but a lot of it is new to me. Oh, Kaisley, you got it. The entire square napkin on her face. Yes. Okay. So basically, if you all notice, she picked up the napkin from the table, she blotted her whole face and then put it down on the table. What I have learned, first thing, when you go to a fine dining establishment, and I'm looking at the plating and I'm looking at how she's dressed, what you want to do, let me see if I can just slide it back a little bit so you all can see. All right. So what you want to do is, as soon as you sit down, you want to get the napkin, and underneath the table, you want to open it and put it on your lap. That's the first thing that you do. And you don't do this motion, shake it out like a sheet. You quietly open it underneath the table and you put it on your lap. But you put it on your lap, fold it in half. So think of a square napkin, you would fold it in half like a rectangle. And the open part of the rectangle is facing you. Why is that? Well, what I've learned, if you need to blot your mouth, and I know this is just a paper towel, you all, but imagine this is facing me. If you need to blot your mouth, you lift up the inside of the napkin and you gently blot, and then you close it so that any stains are on the inside of the napkin. No one needs to be exposed to any stains or any food that you have. So her picking up the napkin off the table, doing this thing and putting back on the table, that's how I have learned to do the napkin. Oh my goodness, we have Genesis here. You're watching on Teachable Moments with Maggie. Yes, thank you for being here. And I do have another channel, you all. So just to be transparent, I have created another channel called Teachable Moments with Maggie. I have 17 subscribers. Yay. But my Maggie, the Substitute Teacher channel, will always be food related. So if there's content that makes sense in both places, you'll see me doing the multi stream. One moment. All right. But you're going to see as I go through my journey and I'm chronicling my own personal development, I don't want to skew the content here. So everything on Maggie, the Substitute Teacher, will be dining related or food related. But other, fashion tips or, anything else that I'm learning in my journey will be on Teachable Moments, because I do believe that I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm here to share. It's never too late to improve. All right. So, yeah, so Mona's watching. Ah, yes. Mona says she should have used the tip of the napkin. So you see, she's got the whole napkin on her face. Mona's laughing. Luke Casely's laughing. Yes. Oh, this one is coming up. Wait for it. Not on your shirt like a bib. Absolutely. Yes, we don't shake it out like a sheet. So open it quietly underneath the table. Who do we have here? Linda with the love notes. Thank you for being here, my dear. And yes, you all, please shout out the name of your channel and what you've got coming up next so we can support you. You all are always here to support me, so I want to support you. Yes, Mona says no ruby woos shown to everyone. Y'all know I struggle with that. Like, I'm getting better about not having stains on the glass. But if you do have to blot, you open it up and use the inside blot and then put it back down. All right, this is fun. Let's continue. I'm going to bring up Zendaya again. We will watch what she does next, and then I will pause it, and you all let me know if you notice anything we can do better with our dining etiquette. All right. I'm going to pause right here. This goes by pretty quickly, and I'll leave this up as a little bit of a hint because I know there's a delay. Can anybody tell me what you notice here or what you saw in that little clip? You all are waving at each other? Absolutely. Yes, this is Mona's channel, so you all please check it out. She's got some great reaction videos too. Absolutely. And Mona's been talking about female friendships. All right. So as you all look at this freeze frame with the lovely Zendaya, are you noticing anything that we can do better when it comes to dining etiquette? The first out. So, somebody who's just hopping on, we've already talked about elbows on the table, especially when there's food present. So, just as a reminder, the only time, there you go. I love it. So, yes, elbows on the table. There's actually two. As Genesis has got it, elbows on the table, elbows on the table. She's all over the table. So, yeah, she is leaning forward. Who do we have here? We have Shelby in the house watching from Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. Shelby is tuning in. Great job as always, lovely. Thank you. And I believe Shelby and I are in the mix together. The mix is the private Kevin Samuel. A lot of this personal development for, we'll talk more about that when I collab with Luke Casey, but thank you so much. Genesis says it's choppy. All right. So let me know if the sound is if I need to. She's not sitting upright. All right. So I always get nervous sometimes. Let me know sound. Let me just put in the comments. Okay. So I'm going to continue and then you all can just let me know. I have no problem refreshing. Yeah, Victoria says, I read somewhere that back in the day, people didn't put elbows on the table because the table was nerdy enough. Aw, thank you, Mona. Victoria got it. Ding, 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 ding. She looks like she's on the phone. Okay. So I hope the sound is okay. Oh man, you guys have got it. So two things here. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And I hope everybody can hear. So we talked about elbows on the table, especially when there's food present. So just to repeat, when there's food present, no elbows on the table. The only time it's okay is after the food has been cleared. If you're at a business meeting or a date or with a friend and you want to lean in for a conversation after the meal, that's okay. The other thing, you all nailed it. The phone on the table. The phone on the table. Oh, it's in a choppy? Okay. I am going to refresh. Stand by. Oh, Wilbert. All right, here I come, you all. All right, and I'm back. Hopefully it's better. Wilbert, I see your comment. You all, sometimes there's a delay and I'm on my, super Wi-Fi. I don't know. I think it's just my software. So Wilbert has a question. We will get to Wilbert's question. So let me go back to sharing my screen so everyone can see. Sometimes I wonder if I just wait it out. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at you guys. Looking, oh, okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So I have so many comments. I'm coming to the comments. So, two things. We talked about elbows. And for me, I shared with you all one of the things that I've had to work on when I have my elbows out like this, it actually makes me look wider. So, you'll see me constantly adjust like this. Okay. Elbows on the table is a no-no. And then the second thing that I was saying, the phone on the table. Here's the thing, you all. Nothing should be on the table that is not food related. So we've talked about this, I think, when we were going through the Woman of Elegance brochure, or maybe it was in Emma's class. I can't remember. I've taken so many. If you are expecting an urgent phone call, let's say the kids are with the sitter or something like that, then you inform your guest, I'm sorry, but I'm expecting a call. If the call comes in, then you step away from the table and you go take the call. You never do this at the table. It's rude. It's unhygienic because you're going to be touching things and then touching your phone. And then the other thing that I've learned, and we've talked about this, and as much as I love to eat, you all, whenever you're dining with other people, the purpose of the dining experience is not about the food. As hard as that is, it's not about going to get full. If you all see my other channel, Teachable Moments with Maggie, you'll actually be taught that you should eat something small before you go. The purpose of the outing is to engage in the conversation and and spend time with other people. So if you're so hungry that all you are is just doing this, it's poor etiquette. All right, thank you all so much. Let me see what you all have to say. Oh dear, what did Brandon say? And Wilbert, I'm going to come to your question. Wilbert says, what do you do if there's food on the ceiling? I would say don't look at the ceiling because you probably will lose your appetite. Thank you so much for being here, Wilbert. What does Brandon say? Looking at your phone while on a date with me automatically terminates the date, ladies. If I can invest my time to date you, give me the same respect by giving me your undivided attention. I'll drink to that. One moment. So, Brandon hit the nail on the head. It's incredibly rude, even if it's a peer. How many times have we gone places and we've seen, a couple out or friends or whatever, and you're just in the face with your phone? It is incredibly rude. And especially if someone has asked you out, which means they want to spend time to get to know you. Giving your attention to something else, in my opinion, it's disrespectful. So ideally, your phone should be off or on silent and put away. If you need to tend to anything, I would try to do that beforehand. And ladies, you can see, oh, the men are always watching. And of course, any man, but high value men, anybody. I would think that's rude if I'm treating you to lunch and all you do is look at your phone. Now, in her defense, let me say this. This episode that we are watching, this is a Vogue video. They asked her, as you can see from the title, to respond to DMs, I guess, from fans. So apparently she's answering questions from her phone. So in this case, maybe, but ideally, phone off the table. All right, so yes, I did see Ebony's comment, and actually, Lucchese Jamila, the etiquette teacher, reviewed this. There is a series on Netflix called Mind Your Manners. I have not seen it. I do have Netflix, but you all, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't have time to. I work and then I do this. This is the labor of love for me. But for those of us who do want to refine, there are so many resources and free resources. I'm going to share with you all what I'm learning, but there's so much out there that you can learn and we can all improve. So I'll break with you. Hello, Wilbert. I'm just checking you guys. Everybody saying good, good, good. Yes, very rude. Stella says Brandon is right. Here, here. Cheers. All right. So, and then even without, you can see, it looked like, an upscale, maybe not fine dining, but a nice, it's not a pizzeria. And she has a dress on, so it just really is not good etiquette. I would not put my um, phone on the table, and I'll be meeting next week after next. Yeah, teachable moments with Maggie. Let me find it for you all. Can I share this URL with you? I need to start putting it. Actually, you all, I need to start putting this in my video description so you have it. There's a channel. Yeah, it's not a pizzeria. And you all, look, there's time. So this is another channel that I'm building out. So you all can see here, like fashion stuff, things that I learn on my talk about being to the staff, luxury lifestyle. All. And again, you all know I am a small town girl from an immigrant family. This is a personal development goal of mine for me as a boy mom and working in a masculine environment. I don't want that to rub off on me. So I am making some changes and investing in myself. This is by no means criticizing anybody. I love Zendaya's work. I'm just sharing with you all what I've learned. All right. So Genesis brings up a good point. It's not a pizzeria. And by that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having pizza. There's nothing wrong with having chicken wings and all of that stuff. But we have shared that when you're dining with others, I even have to do better when I taste food on my channel. There are some things, and what do we talk about? Let me just pause here so we can continue. What did we talk about in one of the other episodes where if you're going to be eating with others, maybe you need to have a little bite beforehand so you don't arrive too hungry. And then also, there may be some things that you can't order. When I went to that nice movie theater, the waiter recommended chicken wings, but I was with a group. Do I really want to be eating chicken on the bone and licking my fingers? I'll save that for the privacy of my own home. All right, so let's continue. I'm going to unpause. Let me take myself down. I'm not playing any sound. Um, Oh, yes. Genesis is watching on my other channel. I am streaming on Maggie the Substitute Teacher and Teachable Moments with Maggie. All right. Oh, what does Shelby say? Video is buffering a bit on Facebook. Okay, great content. You're a great teacher and phenomenal woman. Thank you, Shelby. I've never eat before meeting to dinner to lunch. This is something I'll start doing. Yes. So let me know, you all, if the sound is okay. Let me know if still choppy. All right. I never know who's watching on delay. So let's continue. I'm going to bring myself down and I will pause when I see something else. You all let me know if you catch it. All right. So there's the lovely Zendaya. And all right. She looks lovely. The makeup looks lovely. Okay. All right. We're going to pause there. All right. So, did any sound is fine? Thank you, Stella. Shelby, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and 2 YouTube channels. So maybe that can help. All right. So I'm going to pause there. This is a little bit of a frame. Let me know if you all noticed anything in those clips. While I'm waiting on the delay, Wilbert says I'm fancy, 2 channels. So again, for anyone who just hopped on, Maggie the Substitute Teacher is always going to be food related. But in addition to my health and wellness journey, I'm also on an etiquette and elegance journey and doing some other personal development work. And because I don't want to clog the algorithm or confuse anyone, Teachable Moments with Maggie is where everything else is going to live. So if there's something like this, like a dining documentary that covers food and covers etiquette, I'll be streaming that on both channels. But it's not about, like getting double monetized or anything. I have 17 subscribers. But if you like that other non-food content, feel free to subscribe. This is how Zendaya pronounces her name. Okay. Let me know if I'm butchering it. I don't want to play the sound because I don't want to strike, but maybe someone can type in the pronunciation. Genesis came over here. Does anybody notice? Genesis popped in and she's popping out. Does anybody notice in this frame anything that stands out? I'll go ahead and share. So, what I have learned, you all, for those of Zendaya, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. So Zendaya. Thank you, Luke Hazley. Names are important to me. So apologies, Zendaya. If you ever see this, I want to make sure I put respect on your name. Zendaya, like Sunday. Okay. So what I have learned for those of us who talk with our hands, and I am one of those people, that's why I'm intent keeping them down so over the place, and then them up if I want to make a point. Notice how she's holding her silverware and gesturing with silverware. I know I have a little here. It would be better if you talk with your hands while you're dining to set your fork or whatever it is down and then make your point with your hands. But if you have a knife and fork in your hand, you're not supposed to gesture and point and do all this stuff. In different cultures, it can be perceived as threatening, but it's just not the best etiquette. So either your arms down to the plate or keep them, like I try to do for myself, but you don't want to gesture while holding utensils. I didn't know that. I've just learned that. So I'm going to try and do that, especially when I'm eating for you all or eating, with company. Luke Hazley's talking with the fork. She is talking fork. So yes, we are not to gesture with our utensils. What has Luke Hazley said? Bruce Lee would have been standing ready to defend himself. Exactly. So you all can imagine imagine if you're having a steak or something and you have a knife and you're pointing and you're at a table with people. We can do better. So I've learned if you have cutlery, put it down, make your point, and then pick it back up to eat. All right, you guys are doing great. So let's bring Zendaya back up, and I'm going to pause, and I'll pause when I see something else. You see it. So, oh goodness, it happened very, very fast. I don't know if anybody caught that. I am going to slide it back so you all can see, and I'll try and pause it at the same point. All right. Bring. Can anybody see what's happening here? And if I have the sound on, you would hear what's happening here. But I think we can learn a lot by just watching. So, yes, we've talked about phones at the table. Not only is it rude to whoever you're dining with, but it's not hygienic. Thank you so much for liking the live stream. When you all look at this freeze frame of the beautiful Zendaya, you may notice as she's eating, she's sliding the fork out of her mouth with her teeth. And if you heard the sound on the video, it makes like that slicing sound. When you drag silverware across something, that slicing, like metallic sound. And what I've learned, you all, and I did not know this, but when it comes to etiquette and manners, the whole purpose of etiquette is to make others around you feel comfortable. So the less noise you make, the less space you take up, the less in your face someone is, shows that they have a respect for others. So when it comes to eating, when it comes to drinking, you all see me practicing my silent sips, and Brandon is here. Shout out to the Walmart water. We've got our black cherry that I'm drinking out of a glass. You should put food in your mouth enough that you can consume in one bite, and you should actually put your lips on the fork to pull the fork out instead of your teeth on the fork and slide it out with that slicing sound. Marie says she's shoveling the food in her mouth. Yeah, the hand position on the fork I've learned, and honestly the proper way. And I don't want to go like I'm no professional, but they call this motion the crisscross motion. Proper dining, knife is in the right, fork is in the left, and you bring it up with your left hand. But if you heard the sound on this, you would hear that slicing sound. And eating with the phone in her hand, absolutely. All right, great job, everyone. So let's continue. I'm going to unpause and let me see if you catch the next thing that stood out to me when I watched the lovely Zendaya eat. So someone's asking a question about her favorite school subject. All right. So let's stop there. Did anybody catch that? So what she has at the table, and I'll see if I can slide it back so you all can see. She has like a cheese plate at the table and a bread basket in front of her. And this one happens very quickly, but I'll just keep it here so you all can see. And maybe you all can let me know what you notice. We talked about this in one of my dining documentaries. There it goes again. I'm telling you. Maybe she's not trying to mess up her lipstick. Oh, but okay. All right. What does Wilbert say? Are you supposed to bring an adult sized baby bib to catch food falling on your garments? Actually, no. Um, Napkins are supposed to be in our lap. We talked about that. The only people that should wear bibs are babies. Children tuck in their napkins or have a baby bib. Or I believe the only other place that it's, appropriate is at one of those lobster bars where they have the big spread and they give you the bib because you got to tear your meat apart. Ah, Marie got it. The butter. It was actually cheese, but you're absolutely right. We'll talk about that. What does Luke Hazley say? What we tend to forget is that people watch you whether you like it or not. If you are looking for a potential suitor, that man or woman might be observing you from across the room. That is such a good point, Luke Hazley. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm just running to the store. Oh, nobody's going to see me. And I've made that mistake too, just running out for a quick errand and thinking, oh, it's no big deal. Until I heard someone say, hi, Marcus, mom. So I make it a point to always be presentable. I mean, I got a sweater on, like a couple t shirt layers, but if I have to run out, I never want to have that moment of regret, like, oh, I can't believe I ran into someone. Ah, Ebony says she's using the fork instead of a butter knife. We're going to talk about that. There you go, Marie, you got it. The butter should be placed for personal use, not from the communal butter. Okay, so what I've learned, and we talked about this last time, so you all saw, oh, let me see, not that one. Let me get you this view. And I learned this, you all, I did not know. So if you notice here, she has like this cheese board, and then this is her individual plate. And then this is like the, oh, and it's lagging again. Oh, goodness. All right, I'll give it just a second. It's telling me connection issues. But Marie is absolutely right. It should be for personal use. All right, I'm going to click this off. Hopefully, you all are able to hear and see. Ah, what does Genesis say? Maggie, you see everybody and their grandma all at once. Absolutely. What does Lisa say? Was this a real how-to video or a how not to video? You all, this is a real video. You can Google it. I'm going to actually give you the link right now. This was a real video. Vogue. Look who posted it. Vogue India. Vogue magazine actually posted this. And you all, again, this is no judgment on Zendaya. She's a beautiful actress. But this goes to show no matter how much money you have, no matter, how popular you are, we can all, learn. So I wanted to go back to what Marie said. Whenever you're dining with others, think about like that double dipping we talked about. And I have a meeting with my etiquette teacher tomorrow to ask about the double dipping if you have your own personal salsa bowl. But when you have a cheese board or a butter dish, what you're supposed to do is actually scoop out the butter or cheese that you want and put it onto your plate. And then you serve yourself from the butter on your plate. You're not supposed to go back and forth to the communal butter. Likewise, notice how she's chewing off this piece of bread. And I love a good crusty French bread. And I assume she's probably trying not to mess up her lipstick. But remember, we talked about this. Ideally, we should tear the food into a bite-sized piece that you can pop the whole thing in your mouth, chew and swallow. You shouldn't have to pull anything away from your face. So two things, and I'll play it back one time. She should, when she gets the bread, close to her plate, tear off a small piece, butter just that piece, or put the cheese on that piece from the little butter that she's put on her plate or cheese, and just pop the whole thing in her mouth. Thank you, Mona. Okay, yeah. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. If I go back and look at some of my freeze frames, you all, can you imagine? So I've got some work to do. All right. So let's continue. I'm going to unpause and then stop when I see something else. Did anybody catch that? Did anybody catch that? What is happening right now with the beautiful Zendaya? What does Lisa say? My daughter will be taking classes in the near future, and me too. Absolutely, you all. And there again are so many free resources. In Atlanta, they have like a charm school I was thinking about for the boys. Do I do this all the time? Absolutely not. But I have my own personal development goals, and I want to have more, not luxury experiences, but I want to expose myself to more. And so I want to make sure that I know the proper etiquette. What does Luke Hazley say? There might not be an issue with double dipping if you have your own dish. I think the double dipping is an issue when the dip is shared. I think you're right. If it's your own personal or you're home alone, absolutely. But if you're dining with others or God forbid in public, this is what we have to do. What does Genesis say? We're all a work in progress. Thank you, Maggie. Absolutely. And you all know my heart. This is by no means. When I watch this video, I shudder at the thought of going back and watching myself. You all look, just last week I was tossing this back like I was a dude. Who does that? Lisa says, my mom studied this stuff for cotillions. So you all can see one, elbows on the table. And honestly, when you see her posture like that, like she's squared up, and I try to keep my arms down, but remember we said that arm out posture, in my opinion, makes you wider and it's more masculine. Think about a man giving a town hall or, commanding the room. That's what they do. And then also you can see she's holding the food because she's taken off a bite of bread and she's talking with the food in her mouth. I know sometimes we get in a rush, but another thing that will help with this is eating something small before you go. One of the things I've had to work on is slowing down. And we all know when we're hungry or we're hangry, sometimes we just shove it in and we're just talking away. So this is an area that I know I can improve on. So elbows off the table, only lift up what you can put in and eat in one bite and then swallow before you continue the conversation. I was. You all remember I was tossing it back like a dude. I can do better. All right, so let's continue. I'm going to unpause and then I will stop when I see the next etiquette opportunity, and you all let me know if you see it. She's still talking. Oh my goodness. Elbows on the table. All right, so she's talking. So she's answering questions, and that's fine. I struggle with this too when I so that was a lot. Um, okay, so this next one was actually quite small. A few things that we've seen so far, but this one I actually didn't notice, but I learned. Let me see if I can slide it back so you all can see. It happens really, really fast. All right, I'll just pause there. So you can see the waiter brings out food like a shared plate, and I don't know who she's eating in front of. Maybe it's just for her. Marie says the wild hand gestures. There you go, Shelby got it. Touching the food with her fingers. So you see she has a dish that's brought in front of her with some rice balls or whatever the round balls are. And yes, those that would be something that's a little wobbly. And so she reaches with it with the fork to scrape it onto her own plate. And then she brings her hand that was on the phone and she helps the food over with her hands. Ideally, you would use your knife and fork, pierce it with the fork, and then use the knife to stabilize and bring it to your plate. When you're using a shared platter or something like that, you don't want to touch the food with your hands. All right. So, oh, you all, it's a lot. I absolutely love this space. It makes me happy, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed like, oh my God, I'm doing so much wrong. Um, what does Genesis say? Only pick up what you can put in. Maggie, the unintentional. I guess that was funny. But yes, I was talking about. bite-sized pieces of food, and y'all know sometimes I cut off way too big pieces of food when I'm hungry after I've been cooking. So if you see me step off camera, I might be shoveling it in. All right, great job on that one. Let's continue. Oh, her face. Yes. Oh, she's beautiful when I pause it. But yeah, she's looking like, yeah, I'm about to turn up. If I saw some of my own facial gestures, I would probably be under the table. Let's continue. All right. So she's scraping it up and helping herself. So she's talking about answering other questions. So she's continuing to slide the food out. I think it's probably because she doesn't want to mess up her lipstick. But that's something we'll talk about that. Um, I'll just keep going. So what I've learned about when you are going to be eating with others. All right. So this right here. Oh, I know I do this all the time. So what I've learned is that if I have to do this because I'm still chewing, that means I've put too much food in my mouth. And you all have seen me do this. So I'm going to have to slow down and I'm going to have to cut smaller pieces to put in my mouth so I can kind of bite, chew, and swallow. What does Luke Hazley say? The great thing about these etiquette tips is that the younger you learn them, they become automatic throughout life. Yeah, and I've shared with you all, I'm 47 and I can still, improve. You never have arrived. We can all get better. Uh-oh. We have Mr. O just living in the house. My first time seeing you here. Hello, welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody say hello to Mr. O. And he says this is hard to watch. I understand. I am not, by any means exemplary. I have a long way to go. But the reason why I pulled up this video is because, sometimes we think celebrities, have it all together or their life is perfect or, if I have money or whatnot. There's a lot we can improve. And like Luke Hazley says, at any age, and we're watching it without sound. So one of the things that I've learned, and you all know, I actually booked a session with Kevin Samuels for a project idea I had in another space, not for an evaluation. I am well aware that I am average, but I try to enhance the skills that I do have. However, one of the things I remembered from quietly watching and listening to Kevin when he would have people call up, sometimes we don't notice the flaws in ourselves, but I would hear women call up and they would be argumentative, or how he would get when you would overtalk him. And I would think to myself, oh my gosh, is that what I sound like? Is that how I come across? So I'm using this as an example for myself and for all of us to see how these things look, even from a beautiful woman, who has money, who doesn't have weight to lose, or all the other things that, I know could be obstacles for me. It's hard to watch. Oh, okay. So the other thing, let's continue. So you all can see here, I have to work on this area. When I put too much food in my mouth and I'm like doing this thing, I've eaten too much in one bite. So eat what you need to, but I need to cut my bites into smaller pieces. Even my mom has told me that. Who do we have here? Erin Laura in the house. She says, good evening, Maggie in class. Good evening from Canada. Hello, my dear. I would have lost my elbows for propping them on the table like that. Exactly. Thanks, Mom. So for anybody hopping in, throughout this whole video, she has her elbows on the table. So again, no elbows on the table while there's food present. The only time, as I've learned, that you can put elbows on the table after the meal is done, the food is clear, and you're having a conversation and you want to lean in and give your undivided attention. Other than that, nothing on the table that's not food related. And then for me personally, I don't like having my elbows out like this. It makes me slump down. I have to work on my posture. And for me, it makes me wider than I want to be. So you'll see me do this a lot with my arms. What does Erin Laura say? To be fair, she's not at a formal affair, nor is she eating with someone else. Absolutely. So again, this is a Vogue video. They've set her up to eat. They're filming her and she's answering questions. Honestly, it's very hard to do. You all see me do it all the time. But I just thought that this was a good example of some of the things where we have etiquette opportunities. This in no way is to criticize. I have made so many of these mistakes and continue to make them. But I've learned, Ebony, in the etiquette and elegance classes that I've taken, one of the assignments that we have is to record ourselves. And I watch myself back and I'm like, oh my gosh. So seeing things, whether it's in yourself or someone else, is an opportunity for us to learn. What does Luke Hazley say? Trivial comment. In my early theater classes, I learned that if you want to know how good an actor or person is, watch them perform without sound. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, you couldn't even put them on the table at McDonald's. Yeah, absolutely. What does Mr. O say? I would have excused myself from the table and ended the date. Uh-oh, ladies. So we heard Brandon say that earlier. Brandon L. Jett said if the phone comes out, he's ending the date. Mr. O is saying he would have excused himself and ended the date. So again, Zendaya, I believe she's either happily in a relationship, maybe she's engaged, maybe she's married. I don't know. But if relationships are important to you, whether it's with, like Luke Hazley says, a potential suitor or a job interview or any, eating with the in-laws, there's so many times when people are watching how we conduct ourselves at a meal. So what did Kevin used to say? And especially in this case, eat the meat and spit out the bones, right? All right, so let's continue. I have learned I need to take smaller bites. So I'm going to unpause and then we will pause when I see something. Let's see if you all see it too. What is the next etiquette opportunity? And in fairness, again, they've asked her to answer questions while she eats. All right, so I'm going to pause here. Does anybody notice what is happening here? And this one I had to learn. Anybody notice? I know we have a little bit of a delay. So what does cognizance? Thank you so much for being here. My first time seeing you here. Welcome. Cognizance says some of these etiquette lessons, once learned, become habitual in any setting, formal or informal. Absolutely. And you all, we know when we're at home and we know I will shove something in if I'm rushing between meetings, home alone, absolutely. But if you are with others or if you're in a public place, some people operate, and one of the things I've had to learn, and I shared with you all, I have bumped my head and skinned my knee. Whenever you leave your house, you are on display. And I've shared with you all, I used to just, when it comes to dressing, I just used to put on whatever was clean and comfortable. I wouldn't always wear what was flattering for me. And I had to hire a stylist, not to be fashionable, but just to be the best representation of myself, because I want to represent myself well and I want to represent you all here. Hello, Gigi. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to see the screen share, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. And what I learned is that, what did she tell me? I never forgot. It's somebody who is always meeting you for the first time. And we know how important first impressions are. So thank you. So Marie says her fork is turned the wrong way. She's got the tines down. The wrist twist. Marie says she's stabbing and pulling the meat, not cutting. You all have some really good ones, but actually what I notice here, and I had to learn this, look how far up her elbows are off the table when she's attacking the food here. You can see as she's cutting, they go up really wide. And we've shared about no elbows on the table. But what I have learned is that when we're cutting, again, remember, it is believed that the person with the best manners or the best etiquette is the person who draws the least attention to themselves. So if all else fails, what I do is try to be quieter, try to be less rushed, and try to occupy less space. Because I'm one of those people, come in, how you like me now? You all know I get very excited, but when I'm trying to put my best foot forward, those are the three things that I do. Lower the volume, slow down, occupy less space. So again, with the elbows out like this, Better etiquette or an etiquette opportunity would try to keep your silverware down. We talked about gesturing with your knife and fork. Try to keep your silverware down close to the plate and try to keep your elbows kind of tucked in. Mona says, you never know who will see you. Absolutely, you all. And the internet is forever. I cringe. I should go back and critique some of the stuff I've done. Oh my goodness. What does Erin Laura say? No elbows on the table, no elbows in the air. Just take your elbows off when you're going to eat. That's so funny. Wilbert says, does this make you cringe seeing her eating like this on a video without etiquette? That's a really good question. Um, yes and no. And the no for me is she's a young lady. I see this in so many young ladies. I see this in the younger version of myself. Heck, the older version of myself. It's an opportunity for us to get better. And so I don't have any negative thoughts about Zendaya. Again, what I love is she's an actress. She's a smaller size. She has money, all the things that we think, oh, we wish. So we can all improve even with none of that. But what does make me cringe is, oh my goodness, is this what I look like? So I am on my own personal development journey, and that's why the title of this is Etiquette Student. I have a lot of work to do. Um, so yes, it makes me cringe because I'm scared to go back and look, but it makes me mindful of the decisions that I make. And you can get better every day. I can get better every day. But Aaron Laura is cringing. What does Genesis say? Facts, Maggie. Not everyone knows how to dress to their body type. Absolutely. You all, there's a reason why I wear, like I show a little bit of skin, working on the collarbones. They're in there. But I notice when I wear like, what is it, crew neck or mock neck or turtleneck, it's not as flattering for me. If you're very slim, you can have that, but I need to show a little bit of a neckline, modest. It's more flattering for me. I had to learn all this stuff, y'all. I didn't know. Oh, what does Mona say? Yes, Wilbert, it's given barbaric. Oh dear. It lets me know I've not been elegant either. But you all, when I look at this video of this young lady, I think to myself, oh my goodness, put yourself in the position you're a boy mom like me. I could easily see the boys bringing a young lady like this home, and you're looking at your potential in-laws or whatever. And, people are always watching. What does Miss Lucy say? That's what I've been doing with my voice too, lowering my volume and slowing down. Let's talk a little bit about that, you all. This has been a huge issue for me. When I took my etiquette and elegance classes, one of the things I learned is that I shout when I talk and I talk really fast. That is not becoming for me. And here's the reason why. We think that to make a point, we need to dominate the conversation, talking over people and talking loudly, when actually the opposite is true. My etiquette teacher told me, Margaret, she's English, when you slow down to a point where it seems slow to you. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is almost remedial. To the audience, people are able to process it and it sounds normal. So you'll see me work on slowing down. The other thing I've had to do is to lower my volume. No, was I talking about lowering my volume? But also in slowing down, there's so much, and I am not a doctor, but there's so much psychology around when people try to speed up and talk really fast and they don't have a pause, and there's almost like a nervousness that goes along with that. Some of you all might be able to relate. When you get nervous, sometimes you feel like you just need to get it out, get it all out. A lot of times we women do that, and it's hard to follow along. So it's okay to have a pause, and it actually makes you appear more confident and makes your point easier to understand when you're not just We've all watched videos. You've heard the term word salad or all of that. So those are things that I've had to work on. So you don't have to get louder, because actually, when you lower your volume, people actually lean in to listen to what you have to say. So you will see me working on that. You'll see me in my stream. Sometimes I get excited and I get loud, because it's a really happy place. But when I'm trying to make a point, you will see me fix my posture, slow down, and lower my voice. These are areas that I've had to work on. What does Mona say? Yes, me too, Maggie. I have to show a little neckline. Yeah, I've learned, for those of us that are a little bit fuller, having a little bit of a neckline is actually more flattering. You see, I have 2 layers on today because I'm not comfortable showing too much. But yeah, absolutely. Uh-oh, what does Brandon say? She sounded like my ex. It was very stressful. Oh, when I was talking like really loud, really fast. Yeah, it's draining for anyone. We've all been in conversations with people where it's like, man, I couldn't get a word in, and it's draining. We have Mr. O. Are you over here on Instagram too? Hello, sir. Thank you for being here. But yes, you all, 3 things for me to help me more elegant: posture. So my back is off of the chair. Posture, slow down, and lower your volume. Instantly more elegant. What does Shelby say? I've learned to decrease my pitch and pace when I get excited. Yes. And you all see me get excited. Look, when I'm in the kitchen and I taste something and I love it, Wilbert, I will always do the Maggie roll and those types of things. But etiquette is really about knowing what's appropriate in different circumstances. So I know, Ebony says, this is not necessarily fine dining. She's here. Vogue is interviewing her, but still, um, we have areas of opportunity. Thank you for showing support. Sorry, y'all, I don't want to make too much noise for you. Um, but yes, I want to be able to, you all know I have so many goals and dreams for my channel, and I want to be able to go to fancy places and bring you all along and have these live streams. And ultimately, I want to be invited to share these experiences with you all. And so I don't ever want to seem out of place. So I would rather err on the side of being a little bit, more refined. What does Cognizant say? Toastmasters works wonders, especially for public speaking. She's right. We shared that in a past stream. I don't know, like 3 jobs ago. The company that I was with sponsored Toastmasters in the company. So it's basically an organization. You can join a local chapter if you're interested. And they give you assignments, you do speeches, you have your peers who will critique you for filler words or any mistakes that you've made. This is just something that we can all practice. Graduate school helped me. When I was doing my MBA, every week I had individual assignments and group assignments, and I had to present every week for 2 years. And so it just kind of beat that into me. What does Mona say? I've watched my live streams. I get so passionate and excited and nervous. That's true, you all. We're normal. We're human. I talk loud and fast. Absolutely. I've been slowing it down and pacing myself more with each stream. I'm so proud of you, Mona. Me as well. Sometimes I go back and I watch my streams to make clips, and I'm like, I am a goofball. And I have fun with it. And none of this etiquette and elegant stuff is about dressing a certain way, about being like, you know, a first lady. It's not about not being yourself. You absolutely can be yourself, but we all have areas of improvement, and I'm just sharing with you mine. What does Brandon say? Maggie, how many fellow classmates did you have in your etiquette class? That's a loaded question, Brandon. Now, I will say this. So, the etiquette classes that I've been taking are online finishing schools. So, they include Zoom meetings, they include assignments, they include one-on-ones with the instructor, workbooks, video lessons. So these are online finishing schools, and I've shared the resources with you all, and I'm happy to share them again. But we have a stream sponsor. Cognizance is coming through with the $20 super chat from Canada. Thank you so much. That is incredibly generous. I have not found a $20 bill on the floor. And so I appreciate you giving. This is actually a labor of love for me, and you all can watch, like, share, subscribe, comment, and chat for free, and it helps the channel to grow. And I am very passionate about this for my own personal growth. But when you go above and beyond like this, it just makes my day. So thank you. And what does she say? Excellent info, Maggie. Heading to a meeting now. Great stream. Thank you, my dear. You are going to go into the ticker as our stream sponsor. And the stream sponsor is the person who gives the biggest super chat, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Facebook stars. Just tell me where to look because I got a lot going on. But Cognizance, let me put your name in here and let me spell it correctly. And I don't know if you have a YouTube channel. Cognizance, SEMB, Cognosense. Thank you for the $20 Canadian. I appreciate it. Thank you, my dear. All right. Let's go back. You all have a lot of comments. So, Brandon, I was answering your question. I will say this. I think I know what you're getting at, sir. However, with these online finishing schools, because I started this when I actually came across Kevin Samuels, and he was talking about how Anna Bay transformed her life. And so I started looking at her videos. I signed up and have completed her signature program, and then it's just grown from there. There is a group that I have seen very heavy in this space, and it is our Russian or Eastern European sisters. Of course, you can see etiquette teachers, in Asia, in Africa. I'm going to be I have a collab. I'm trying to land a date with Woman of Elegance. We have all over, but there were a lot of our Eastern European or Russian sisters who, let's say, their husband or whoever was hosting, a party or something, dinner party for colleagues or going to a work event, and they were taking very seriously that they showed up a certain way. And so I don't know if I've answered your question, but that's what I'll say for now. What does Sapphire Wu say? I love your soft, soothing tone. Your boys will appreciate it later in life. Thank you for saying that. I have to say, with the boys, it's not always soft and soothing. Luck, not luckily for me, but yes, luckily for me, their dad is very active and they're spending a lot more time with him. They're teenagers now. And I have to be honest with you all, I have two boys that don't always get along. And I've had to break up fights, and it is not this soft, soothing tone. And so, just as a boy mom, sometimes I have to be rougher than I want to be. Thank goodness my ex husband, he works different hours, but, he'll snatch them up for me. But working in a masculine environment, being a boy mom, this is something that I've kind of carved out for myself because I want to keep my softness and my femininity. So thank you so much for this compliment, Sapphire, because that means the work that I'm doing is coming through. I have been complimented about my speaking voice, but it's only when I slow down and I lower my volume because I can have that loud, annoying, nasally tone. Well, yes, thank you so much. Shout out to the Canadians. Genesis is here. Aaron Laura's here. Um, who else is in Canada? Cognizance is here. Thank you. Maggie, the substitute teacher, is worldwide. Oh, you like my tone of voice. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. All right, let me scroll back up. I want to make sure that I get everyone. What does Mona say? Working in a home environment definitely lends to how we communicate. My new job I started forces me to slow down and I work from home. Mona brings up a great point. You all know, I've been corporate since college, and, corporate America, it's great, but it is a very competitive environment and, also very masculine, as it should be. And I know the pandemic hurt a lot of people, but for me, it really kind of was the reset that I needed. Now I work from home, but I used to be in the office and in meetings and, just in that space. And you don't realize how much of that you're picking up and it's coming out even when you don't intend to sound that way. We have heard videos where people, are kind of like, oh my gosh, how is she talking? I want to get better in that area. What does Aaron Laura say? I've learned a lot from Kevin Samuels and Jordan Peterson, absolutely, how they listen and respond without shouting. Oh my goodness, you all, we can all get our point across without shouting. It's tough, and I come from a loud family, but working on it. Me too. Shout out to the Africans. Y'all know I'm Africans. Our African brothers and sisters, our Italian brothers and sisters. Who else is loud? Um, our South American, our Latin brothers and sisters. So much passion. But when you're home and you're with the family, absolutely turn up, have a great time. Y'all should have seen me watching the football game last night. I was hollering. But when I come here and when I'm in mixed company, I try to always remember my teaching. So, Brandon, let me know if I answered your class. Okay, so Mona has taken Toastmasters. Okay, I'm just scrolling back. What does Luke Hazley say? Unfortunately, those of us who have been working for decades in the corporate world environment have had to compete and learn to sometimes lose our femininity, especially at board meetings. Oh my goodness, Luke Hazley, you hit it on the head. And you all, I'm going to be doing a collab with Luke Hazley on her channel Thursday night. So please, we'll talk all about this, but I realized that, you know, been corporate, over 20 years, and I come through the door, barking orders. Who wants to hear that? Nobody. So I've had to really work, and I've gotten some harsh feedback, and so I'm getting better, and I continue to work on it. So there's nothing wrong with it. Go for the big job, go for the big promotion if that's what you want, but just know that it stays on you when you are in other places. So just be mindful of that. So me continuing this work is because I work in technology, data-driven, masculine, competitive corporate environment. It's great money, it pays the bills, but it doesn't necessarily promote the softness that I want to have. All right. Uh-oh. Mona says, ooh, Maggie's preaching. I'm not trying to, but I'm glad this is helpful. All right. Uh-oh. Almost fell out of my chair. What does Marie say? Oh, Wilbert just sent a cash app. I didn't want to ask, but y'all, the petty power has begun. Okay. Oh, so let me pull this up so you all can see. Wilbert just sent $14.91. Why did he send $14.91? So Cognizance was here and she sent $20 Canadian. And I almost asked how much that was in US dollars, but it doesn't matter. I appreciate everything. Wilbert has calculated that $20 Canadian is equal to $14.90. So Wilbert has sent $14.91. Thank you so much, Cognizance. But Wilbert is now our stream sponsor. So let me update the ticker. Thank you so much, Wilbert, for your petty power. You know him and you love him. Wilbert Gross at $14.91. Thank you, Wilbert. All right. I want to make sure I get all of your comments. What does Marie say? Introverts say less. So what we say means more. Yeah, I have to learn that, you all. Silence is golden. And what did I learn from one of the etiquette teachers? You will never regret a silent moment. Oh, you'll never regret talking less, but you can regret talking more, or something like that. All right, let me just scroll back up. You all are laughing. What does Mona say? That's what I said. It makes me hold up a mirror to myself and others, how others may perceive me in public. Absolutely, you all. Having a YouTube channel or working in Zoom meetings or anything, you really get a window into how you show up. Yeah, Marie misses the collarbones. Yeah, mine are in there. They're a little bit padded from the holidays. So, collarbones. When he would play that tuba and the collarbone song, oh my gosh, that did something to me. Put the food down. What does Luke Casey say? It could also be that the table for the Vogue setting was not a real dining table. Yes, I'm sure she's got the camera set up all in front of her. The table seems to be quite small. All right, I'm scrolling back down. How you like me now? Cool Modi. Oh, love that old hip hop. Who do we have? Paige in the house. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to see the screen share, I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher, on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. All right, you all. I'm just scrolling back down. I want to make sure I include you all in the conversation. Just scrolling down. Thank you so much, Cognizance. Thank you so much, Wilbert. Sapphire says, yes, Mona, I come from a loud family and wish I had that type of voice. I know that I missed lots of opportunities, personal and professional. This is huge. And, you all, I have my own personal reasons, but whether it's a relationship or family or business, how we show up carries a lot of weight. And thank you for sharing that, Sapphire. We don't know what we've missed out on because we overtalk or we shout or we have bad etiquette. So I am on my journey and I'm sharing it with you. But thank you for saying that we can miss out on a lot. And I want to be able to go everywhere. What does Erin Laura say? I just found a tea shop in town where you sit down to a fancy platter similar to the one you went to a while back. Absolutely. We have a tea house here in Atlanta. I've been to several, but yes, it's a great place to practice. And another thing, Brandon asked about the etiquette classes. Some of the homework that I have in the etiquette classes that I take is to put myself in these situations so that I can practice. You all see me when I make the shorts going to the symphony, going to the ballet, going to wineries. Of course, I enjoy that, but in order to practice what I've learned, I have to do these things as part of my assignment. Not complaining, but yes. Aaron Laura says, I want to go when the weather is nicer, a good place to practice eating etiquette. Absolutely. Someone mentioned a Maggie meetup. You all set it up and I will be there. What does Genesis say? I work from home 85% of the time. When the phone rings, it's my office voice that answers. Is that a good thing? I hope so. Yes, you all know Wilbert. Petty Tendergrass. What does Wilbert say? I didn't expect to outsponsor her. This is such an honor. Who believes Wilbert? Who believes him? Exactly. Y'all already see. Y'all already see there's power in silence. All right. Such good conversation, you all. So we're going to bring Zendaya back up, the lovely Zendaya, and we're going to continue. And you all let me know if you see what made me pause. So we talked about the elbows. All right. Uh-oh. 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 I know I've done that. I know I've done that. Did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch it? Oh, yes. Petty Tendergrass. We got to give credit to Mona for that. She's called him. Did anybody catch what made me pause? And I have made this mistake. Have I made this mistake? I have made this mistake. I have made that mistake. Let's see if anybody caught it. I know we have a little bit of a delay, so I'll go back and play. Amount of food. There you go, Shelby. Shelby got it. Shelby got it. Look at the food. Let me give her a better frame. She's a beautiful young lady. All right. I have made this mistake. And since this is hard to watch, I'm going to take it down. If you notice when she's eating, the amount of lasagna that she has on the fork, and we've all been there. We've all been hungry. We've all been hangry and we're shoving it in. When you're home alone, do what you want to. But in mixed company, if you notice, she put the food in her mouth and then it was so much that she had to use the fork almost to kind of like shove it in. So the etiquette opportunity here that I've learned is basically that should have been cut into 2 bites. Remember, we never want to take food away from our mouth or have food showing as we're eating. So the bites need to be small enough so that we can chew them with our mouth closed and swallow easily. If we're shoving so much food in that it's falling out, we got to mash it back in there. It's too much food on the fork. So slow down. Maybe you eat a little something before you go so you're not that hungry. Remember, what I've learned, the purpose of any dining when you're with a group is not about the food. It's about the company, the conversation. And by company, I don't mean job company, but the company that's with you. So Less food on the fork. I'm guilty of that one. What does Wilbert say? Why would she sit down for an interview while eating? It's kind of weird. Well, Wilbert, interestingly enough, I remember being taken out for my first job um, for a meal as part of the interview. I don't know if companies still do this, but I've shared with you all. I am a proud graduate of Spelman College, and we have a very solid career placement office. So as you're graduating, they actually help you get a job. And there was a partnership with American Express when I was there 20 plus years ago that they would actually get us dressed up and take us out to a restaurant as part of the interview experience and teach us these things so we could put them in practice. And that's the other thing. You can practice when you're home alone. You all see me, even when I'm not on camera, I have stopped drinking out of cans. Of course, if I'm at a game or something, that's fine. But if I have access to a glass, I'm going to take the extra step to put it in a glass. But it is very common, whether it's a job interview or, like I said, if I'm, mom and the boys bring a young lady home, it's a different kind of interview, but I think we're always being watched by people. So, yes, I think it's a little bit strange for Vogue to say eat and answer these questions, but you never know if people are testing to see how you handle that. And I'm guilty of this. You all see me cook and then eat, so I have to do better. Ah, yes. What does Miss Lucy say? If you have to open your mouth like you're a boa constrictor, that's not the ideal amount of food. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm cringing because I know I'm guilty of this. You've seen me cut into the Maggie cakes and shove it in. I have to do better about that. So, yes, cut it in half or at least don't eat publicly if you got to shove it in like that. I got you, Miss Lucy. Linda's got it. Too much food going in. What does Aaron Laura say? If you overshoot with the amount, bite it in half so the other half stays on the fork and put it down until you finish what you bit off. That's a good point. However, we've talked about ideally we should only take the amount that we can comfortably fit in our mouth. So we either need to tear off a small piece of bread or cut it in half. Ideally, we don't pull food away from our mouth, but that's better than having to shovel it in. What does Shelby say? I figured out that I ate too fast. I usually cook and eat at home. I had to learn to change both in public and private. How about that? And you all, I'm thinking about a lot, with my cooking class, and it's not going to stop. But, I've actually learned I'm really not even supposed to stand up and eat. And I'm like, shoot. But, for my class, just like this, she's in an interview. They've asked her to answer DMs. I probably, an etiquette opportunity, I probably would have given the phone to the interviewer and asked them read the questions to me so I'm not having to juggle the phone and food. Because if you're at a job interview, usually they're going to be having a conversation with you while you eat. But I do the same thing. I mean, you all, I'm a busy mom. I have two kids in sports, long commute before the pandemic and all that. I remember like shoveling it in, rushing to go, eating in the car, all of that. I mean, that's life. But now that we know these things, we can make a conscious decision if we want to practice it so that we can get better. None of this is required. I'm sharing my own personal journey with you. So good for you, Shelby. What does Wilbert say? Do all of these rules become second nature over time? Seems like you wouldn't be able to enjoy a meal due to all the rules you have to think about. That's a great question. And Wilbert, I'll be honest with you. Do I do this all the time? Absolutely not. But it's almost like, when you're on, for example, if you were to come to my house, you would see me dressed like this, but I don't wear pearls all the time just walking around. I make sure to put that on for you all because this is how you like for me to show up. There are some things that I try to practice all of the time, but no, when I'm alone, I eat my chicken wings down to the bone. If I'm watching the game, with family or whatever, I'll be screaming. But you do become mindful. What did Kevin Samuels used to say? And I am no expert. I know he said self-awareness is sexy, but that's actually one of the first modules that I learned in, my first etiquette class is just self-awareness. Self-awareness alone is huge. Sometimes we just walk around, myself included, like, you know, nobody's watching me. And then when you realize that when you step out of your home, you're on display. When my stylist told me somebody's always seeing you for the first time, like it shook me. As simple as that sounds, I'm like, oh my goodness, someone's always seeing me for the first time. And then those of us on YouTube, this has been huge because the internet is forever. And so I'm mindful of that. And that's why I say I want to represent you all well. I want to represent myself well. I'm somebody's mother. I'm somebody's daughter. I'm somebody's sister. All of that is important to me. So Wilbert says, can you enjoy a meal with all of the rules? I think so, yes. But if you've gone out to fine dining, it's not about these huge portions. It's about tasting and experiencing all of these different foods. And I've even shared with you all, like at buffets, like I struggle when there's too many decisions. I would love to have a nice small something and really take my time, savor, and enjoy. Great question, Wilbert. If we make it a habit, it becomes a habit. Wilbert says, it becomes another full time job. Well, Wilbert, if I may, sir, kindly push back a little bit because you have two daughters. Well, one daughter and one on the way. Please inbox me. I do have a gift for you sitting over here. If you have an address to share, I want to send you something. But when I looked at this beautiful Zendaya, who's 26, I thought about if I had a daughter, if my, or daughter-in-law, um, how would I want her to show up in a public space? Again, if you're out with your friends having pizza, everybody's kicking back on the couch, absolutely have a good time. But when I looked at this video, Wilbert, one of the first things that I looked at, look at how she's dressed. She's wearing a beautiful gown with like feathers or something on there. So you just look at how, and I know this is not a real restaurant, but you can tell she's not at a baseball game. So that's why I was like, does the behavior match the environment? And that's all etiquette is. There are some things that are appropriate in an office environment that you wouldn't do at home, that you wouldn't do at your family, that you wouldn't do at a restaurant. All right, let's continue. Great questions, everyone. Let me bring the beautiful Zendaya. So, that was a lot. Um, I noticed a couple things, so we will share together. All right, what does Brandon say? Like I said the previous stream, Brandon says table etiquette and manners could be the difference between Del Frisco's and Outback. You all, and I've taken the kids to Outback. I love the kookaburra wings. However, like Brandon said, and I've learned, maybe I'll have to go there and do a dining documentary for you all. Del Frisco's is a very nice steakhouse. Apparently, they have them here in the Atlanta area, but if it is important to you, I know, Wilbur, you're not interested in a gentleman taking you out, of course, but for someone who would be interested in that, someone like a Brandon or someone like a Mr. O is watching. And so if you would like to be invited out for another meal, that could be something to consider. And I've shared with you all with keeping my arms down like this for my own personal reasons because, I'm more, still got some weight to lose. So when I keep my arms out like this, it makes me wider on camera that I have to be. But I notice even when she's talking and she has her hands like this or whatever, to me, like instantly, she seemed more feminine and more elegant than when she's, up on the table like this. Just a thought. What does Luke Hazley say? A piece of food could fall on the plate and splatter all over her beautiful top. Yes, if she had too much. Mona is agreeing with Brandon. I would like to go to Del Frisco's. Now, if a man asked me, well, first I'd probably say, what's Del Frisco's? Or I'd probably have to Google it. Y'all know I'm a small town girl, but I got big dreams. Um, but yeah, even if you're at Outback Steakhouse or anything like that, there's etiquette opportunities. Mona is looking. Mona says, this reminds me when I talk with my hands, and it's okay to talk with your hands. I'm not saying that you have to be a robot. What I've learned though is that you don't want to talk with your hands while holding utensils. And can you believe they did this and then that person and then that person? Imagine if that's a knife or a fork. No, what we should do, the etiquette opportunity is to put our cutlery down, make your point, and then go back to eating, your silverware should stay close to the plate and you don't gesture with it. But I did notice, even someone as slender as her makes you take up more space and a little bit more boxy when your arms are out. So I don't put my arms on, even if I'm sitting in a chair. Now, of course, if you're someone you're kicking back, reclining, that's fine. But if I'm with somebody, I'm seated up and my arms are down. What does Brandon say? Maggie know about them out. See you all. I'm never going to act like I am too good for kookaburra wings. So, Brandon, if I ever went to dinner with you, I probably wouldn't do this at first. Like, we'd have to be like buddies for a while and then we could share some kookaburra wings. Or I'd have to get them in private or just with family or other kids. But yes, Outback, so embarrassed. I love a good chicken wing. I'm not going to stop. And of course, it's football season. If I have a Super Bowl party and there's a spread, I'm having wings. I'm doing all of that. But am I wearing that gown though? Mm-mm. What does Wilbert say? I went on an accidental date with a man once. It was a good 5-star meal. You had no elegance. Wilbert, I don't know if I want you to unpack that, but everyone is welcome here, whether you're going out with a man or a woman. And ladies, those of us that are with, men, we see, when you see a man pick up his fork and eat like this, like holding it like a club. Condemnia was in here earlier. I mean, Jamila offers, this for men as well. I'm focusing on my own personal development, so I'm sharing with you all what I can do better. But absolutely, y'all know Petty Tendergrass. You know Wilbert. Yes. What is personal time with Kim K is back. Hello, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. She says, imagine a fork flying out of someone's hand. Like, I can't believe, and the car was late. Y'all, just imagine. You'd be like, watch that, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that was a bit much, Maggie. Oh, what does Wilbert say? I would tell the story, but I don't want to embarrass the guy. He was cool. You just weren't into that. Okay, Wilbert. Well, I'm glad you realized you weren't on your best manners on the date. Moving along, Erin Laura says, me talking while holding the roasting fork. Why is everyone running away? Exactly, you all. And this is why I'm bringing this video of the beautiful Zendaya. Again, she's an actress. She is famous. She has money. She's this big. She has no weight to lose. None of the stuff that plagues me, right? But there are things that we could all learn from. And sometimes when you watch other people, it's kind of like, I do the same thing, but you see it in others. You see it in others. I'm having so much fun with you all. All right. What does Lucy say? Yes, when you see anybody, that's what kids do, right? And then I teach the boys, hold it like a pencil. Oh, Brandon is laughing. Uh-oh. No, Luke Hazley's laughing. What does Brandon say? No, Wilbert, do not unpack that. Yes. Okay, let's continue. Oh, Condemnia's back. He's at the gym working hard. But yeah, even Condemnia mentioned earlier that he would like to learn this as a gentleman, right? My dream, you all, is to travel the world and to go have all of these experiences and to dine and to share it with you all. But I can only imagine if I take video or picture of myself and I'm grabbing a wine glass by the bowl and just tossing it back. No, I can do better. What does Genesis say? Small town girl with big dreams in River City. Shout out to Oklahoma. Yeah. Maggie's your small town girl. I grew up in Athens, Georgia. Go dogs. All right. So let us continue. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you all. So you notice, so she's eating and she's got a big mouth of food, but notice what she's doing with the plate. And I did not know this. I had to learn. It's actually poor etiquette to start clearing the dishes and moving them. I did not know this. We think we're helping, but what it kind of, the message that it sends is that the wait staff is not doing their job properly or in time. If you're done eating, you can place your napkin or put your silverware in a resting position. And then, especially in fine dining, they will be checking on you and they will come to take your plate. But you're not supposed to like move everything out of the way. Like, I'm done with this course, on to the next one. I had to learn that. I did not know. Um, what does Condemnia say? Did I miss some gentleman etiquette game? Put me on game. No, I didn't share any. If the men are in here, if you'd like for me to do that, I don't know. I just feel awkward speaking on behalf of anything, men. I'm a boy mom. That's all I got. I can talk about it from the ladies' perspective, or ladies, you can share maybe any etiquette faux pas that you've seen men do. I know this is one for me, holding the fork or spoon like a club, but I haven't covered anything for men. I don't know if I should, but you all let me know. Give me feedback. If you all would like for me to go learn and bring back what I've learned, some basic things I can, but I'm on my own journey to get better because I got a lot of work to do. All right, so let's continue with the lovely Zendaya. All right, so let's take that down and continue. Oh my goodness. All right, so just for a review, we talked about the napkin in the beginning. Remember, when you sit down, empty the napkin on your lap. It should be rectangle, and you use the open part of it to gently blot and then cover it. You don't want to show any food stains or any lipstick stains to your dining companions. I've had to learn that. And I meant to say something about makeup, and you all know I wear a red lip. I don't wear any makeup, but I do wear a red lip. And so ideally, we women are supposed to be mindful of the lipstick choices that or makeup choices that we wear. It should be light and as natural as possible. So they say, do you? I am not a judge. But if you do get lipstick on the glass, the proper etiquette is to drink from that same spot. So I'm working on getting lipsticks that don't leave a stain. But if I were to drink, and I see there's lipstick here, I keep drinking in the same spot. You are not supposed to have your mouth prints all along the glass. So keep that in mind if you do get lipstick on there. But again, with the napkin, I know this is just a raggedy paper towel. It's folded in half, it's in your lap. And again, not like that, not like a sheet. Open it below the table, gently blot, and then any food stain should be closed. Ah, what does Shelby say? Oh my, I stack my plates and utensils thinking I'm helping the staff. I know, I was doing the same thing. I did not know that. We're supposed to indicate, well, you all know, even if you're out back with Brandon Eljet, usually they will come through and say, are you finished here? Or, you can put your silverware in the resting position. Or if you're getting ready to leave, you can put your napkin on the table. The napkin stays on your lap as long as you're eating. And I've learned if you leave and you're going to the restroom or wherever, you put your napkin in the seat. You don't put your napkin on the table until you're done. That signifies that you're not coming back and you're done. I've made the same mistake, Shelby. I did not know. What does Wilbert say? The clearing the plate one goes for both men and women. I didn't know that. I thought it was helpful. Yeah. It, and Wilbert, you asked about this, and when I get Woman of Elegance on, I have so many collabs planned for you all. I'm going to ask her about a lot of these, rules and where they came from, because I know you asked that, Wilbert. But yeah, I thought I was helping too. So Condemnia says, I hold my fork as if I'm writing, yes, as a pencil. What I learned, you all, proper style with the fork in the left and the knife on the right. We're supposed to hold it down with the little palms facing down. Ideally, you don't have it up in the air, definitely not waving about, but we're kind of supposed to kind of keep it down, pierce the food, and then bring it to your mouth. But yes, I do use it like a pencil, but definitely not like this. What does Erin Laura say? If this were truly formal, I'd say her shoulders are too high when she's talking as well, as if she's shrugging. Oh, she had her shoulders up like this. I'll have to take another look. But yes, you will learn that in your posture modules that bring your shoulders down, straighten your back. The whole posture thing is a huge one for me. But yes. What does Genesis say? The traveling lipstick stains around the glass. Yes. So, ladies, if you wear lipstick and you get a stain on the glass, you drink from that same spot. Okay. Again, the etiquette rules are to make others feel comfortable. Condemnia says this intel will come in handy at Fogo. I know I'm nervous, you all. Now that I'm having this stream, everybody's going to be watching me when I just want to toss it back. No, I'll try to keep it together. At Condemnia, will I meet you in San Diego? And I will be going to San Diego next weekend. I will meet Brandon Eljet. You won't see him. Condemnia and whoever else is coming. I believe Lisa's coming. Very exciting. All right, so let's continue. So again, she's brought the whole napkin up. You see it's still folded, and she's using the side that others will see. Let's continue with what else our lovely Zendaya does at the table. So they're asking her questions. She's eating. Oh my goodness. 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 Do you see what I see? This is a huge one. I could not believe when I saw this one. I am going to wait and see if anybody notices anything here while I take another silent sip. Oh, yep, elbows on the table. She's leaning, Wilbert. What else? Does anybody notice anything different with our lovely Zendaya here as she's eating her pesto pasta? Yes, elbows are on the table, but there's more. There's more. I'm going to wait on this one because when I saw this, I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, y'all. But you all have that right. Elbows on the table. So for anyone who just hopped in, you guys got it. Look at the napkin. I could not believe. And in all honesty, you all, the other stuff, the gesturing with the fork, the moving the plates, the shoving too much food in, yes. But I believe she's wearing a gown. And I'm sure this is some type of like designer gown. Y'all know I wear Old Navy. And this is Marley Lily with the embroidery. She is wearing a gown. And the napkin that is supposed to be folded in her lap is on her chest. Okay, you guys got it. Yeah. I thought the same thing. I had to do a double take. Aaron Laura says it matches the dress. It absolutely matches the dress, but Connemia, it's not part of the ensemble. It looks like a dress, though. It looks like this could be a new fashion. All right, so what I have learned, and honestly, you all, I haven't done this in a long time, but if I'm being really transparent with you all, when I was at, my larger size, I used to like get food on me. So you think, okay, I'm going to cover my clothes. And so you would tuck that in. This is an elegant opportunity, an etiquette opportunity. Napkin should be in our lap. And of course, we shouldn't be elbows up on the table like that. What did we talk about last time? A couple things. If you are clumsy with food, we've all been there. Was it Shelby that said you practice at home? You can practice eating some of those tricky things, spaghetti, soup. You can try and practice those at home if you want to. Or in a pinch, if you know you're kind of a messy eater when you're out or in public, and I know they're bringing this food to her, so I'm just using this as an example. I've had to make different choices about what I want to order. I shared with you all, I may be craving chicken wings, but I might get like a simple sandwich or something instead that doesn't require me to like have sticky fingers or sauce dripping or licking or gnawing on the bone or any of that stuff. So if you know that you have a potential to spill, again, the purpose of dining with others is not about the food, it's about the company you're keeping. So yes, the only time when it's appropriate, excuse me, that I've learned, the only time that it's appropriate to tuck that in, one, if you are a child, and I've learned that about my straws too. I'm going to ask for Maya tomorrow. Straws are for children, Margaret. Uh-oh. The only time that I've learned kids can have the bib tucked in, or if you're at a lobster like bar, those seafood spreads where they bring everything out and you got to crack your own thing, they will give you the thing to tie around the bib. Oh, Mona says it's giving toddler. What does Wilbert say? Good observation. It looks like her dress. I'm definitely not paying attention to her outfit. Yes, you all. That was the napkin, the dinner napkin. Genesis says that's a $10,000 dress, if not more. Yes, you all. Zendaya is beautiful. I don't know her net worth, but she's an actress. She's a singer. I'm sure she's at least a millionaire. So yeah, I'm sure it's not Old Navy. All right, so let's continue and see what else we have as an etiquette opportunity. So, elbows on the table, napkin is tucked in. And she could be doing this, y'all, as a skit. I don't know, but still, we can learn from it. Maybe, she did this for show, but it's giving us a great case study. Remember, we talked about, I'll just come back. If we have the type of lipstick that won't stain, when you put the fork or spoon in your mouth, you want to close your lips on the fork and not slide it out of your teeth. Because if I were playing the sound, you all would hear kind of that slicing, like metal scraping sound. We should eat and drink without making a sound, and that's something I have to practice. So she's moved on to dessert. We're in the final course. So she's got, looks like a tiramisu or some type of glass. Okay, so it's getting ready to end. Is she going to eat anything else as they roll the credits? She's talking, conversation. She's got her dessert. Um, yeah, perfect. Did you see that? How she pulled the spoon out and she took it off the spoon. Yep, perfect. She's talking while eating, but other than that, okay. I'll just play that back one more time so you all can see off of the spoon. She did a great job. It's the fork ones where she kind of slides it out like slicing her teeth. But whatever we eat off of, we should have a small amount, perfect, and it should come out clean and without a sound. What does Condemnia say? I'm going to come back to the comments. Let me just play the end of this and see if there's anything else. But yes, beautiful girl, beautiful dress. So you all can see the napkin is gone. So you can see her gown is just like that. See, there's a little bit of time left. I don't know. There's some. All right, so there's her dress. And she's gesturing with the fork. She's pointing. She's pointing and talking with the fork. So we don't want to do that. Keep it close to the food and don't slice the air. All right, y'all. Okay, everyone. Let me pause. So that was what I wanted to cover today. All right. What does Condemnia say? Wait, that's a real etiquette thing? I stay scraping my food with my teeth. It upsets my younger brothers. I had to learn that too. Yes, ideally, you want to be a silent because, and the reason why I know Wilbert asked about this, well, what are the reasons for these things? You don't want to draw attention to yourself. So when you make all this noise when you're eating and drinking and stomping around, it makes people all eyes on you. And if that's what you want, I guess that's an option. But ideally, you want people to get to know you for you, not because of the noise that you're making. So that is the reaction that I had to the lovely Zendaya. And again, we're going to close out. I'm going to give you all my commercials, give you a couple updates, and we're going to be done. I have been working on this for the better part of this is going into year 3 for me. And, like I said, as I've been on my health and wellness journey, it's easier for me now as the weight comes off to be more elegant, to have better manners and etiquette. So this is something that's important to me that I am sharing with you all. So again, If you find yourself making any of these mistakes, and you all hold me accountable, when you see me back in the kitchen and I'm shoving it in, remind me, Maggie, slow down, smaller bites. Believe me, my mom has. So if you all like this content, let me know. If you want me to do more of it, I absolutely will. If you want me to try and find some stuff that, is beneficial for men, I just don't want to overstep and speak on behalf of anything I don't have experience in. These are things that I have learned on my collab with Luke Casely on Thursday. You all please subscribe to her channel. Thank you for the love. We've got Ivy here, Ivy's Creative Flow. My first time seeing you here, my dear. Thank you. We will be talking all things etiquette, all things manners, my journey, whatever she wants to interview me for. So that's going to be this Thursday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Let's see. If you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing. I do live stream every day. Maybe we'll do some cooking tomorrow. It's been a while since I've been in the kitchen, so maybe we'll cook something up tomorrow. Let's see. So that's Thursday. Very excited, you all. I've landed another collab with Alka Zone, the alkaline mineral drops that I've been using. They have set up a Maggie discount code, so you all will hear all about that. I did an unboxing of their products yesterday, and they reached out and they loved it, and they want to share it with their email list of 11,000 names. So I'm very excited. So we're planning that for Monday, MLK Day. It'll probably be about 5 p.m. Eastern. And then Woman of Elegance has agreed to a collab. So I'm going to try and get some professionals in here. You all can, we can collect some questions in advance. But yeah, I definitely want to continue to grow and have the channel grow and be a space, a community where we can learn together. Thank you all for helping me monetize my passion for food. Clearly, I enjoy eating. Thank you, Wilbert, for being the stream sponsor. Thank you, Condolences, for showing up and supporting the channel. If you all want to know how I monetize my passion for food, I do have a YouTube course, and you can preview it for free, and I show you how I'm able to monetize on YouTube, now on Facebook, and the story continues. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dismiss Instagram. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all tomorrow. Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. What am I cooking? I don't know. When am I cooking it? Probably 5 p.m. Eastern. If there's anything you want me to make, please let me know. Erin Laura says I'm more tolerant. We come to watch me cook and eat. Thank you. All right, everyone. Class is dismissed.